Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest GFS, GM, ECMWF, then you'll have a look at the GFS ensembles, we'll have a look at the live radar, and then we'll have a look at the National Hurricane Centre for an update on the latest situation with the hurricane season out in the Atlantic. Do remember, if you enjoyed my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. Do remember to follow me on Twitter as well, link is in the description. So if we have a look at the latest GFS, you'll see at the moment we do have a ridge of high pressure building into the UK, but we still have this sort of trough that is spread across the country, and there's currently a weather front across Wales into northern England bringing some heavier rain in sort of a short, narrow band. We'll have a look at the live radar at the end of the video, but it's going to be fizzling out as it heads south eastwards. That's because the high pressure is building in. But another low pressure system towards sort of Thursday, Friday is going to start to make its way down from the north. This one's going to give us more headaches as it's going to bring some heavier rain down from the north through Scotland. It will sort of fizzle out, but this low pressure system is going to park just to the south UK. We were looking at the video yesterday. So Saturday, Sunday do look like pleasant days, especially further northwards actually. But for the south, we start to bring in some hot and humid air in off the near continent, which does mean things could be turning a bit warmer. We do see sunshine, but this low pressure system being fed by that hot and humid air is going to start spiraling showers round. And you see it really doesn't move at all just from northern France. So northern France is going to see probably a few thunderstorms and showers, as well as southern parts of England. You can see it really just sits there for a good few days. So it does look like at the moment the south is going to be wet and more cloudy. Again, it won't be wet all the time, just more shower activity, and then in the north it's probably drier with more sunshine. Beyond that, we head into the following weekend, so the first day of July, so Thursday the 1st of July, high pressure pretty much for the whole country as this low starts to slip away. And things are fairly pleasant if you look at the upper air temperatures. Again, around 10 degrees at 850 HPA, which isn't really hot, but again, we'll be allowed temperatures to get up to the high teens, low 20s quite widely. Towards day 10, low pressure starts to push in, especially the north, and it spreads across the whole country, spreading a weak weather front through. And then we sort of, as we head to the end of the run, we maintain sort of northwesterly winds with low pressure, probably going more wet and windy in the north. So no real settled spell coming up, but it does look like further northwards over the next week to 10 days. Things could be fairly pleasant, whereas further southwards we could have some more cloud and potentially some more rain, in sort of a showery outlook with some sort of convection. And again, there could be some thunderstorms associated with that, so we'll have to look at that sort of nearer the time, sort of to the end of this week. We'll have a closer eye on the start of next week. So if we now have a look at the GM, you can see again very similar pattern. That low moves through towards the weekend and sort of parks in the south through sort of Saturday, Sunday, and just spiraling areas of showers around. More high pressure in the north, so things are looking a bit drier. That low eventually clears towards Thursday, 1st of July. High pressure builds in, and towards sort of day 10, high pressure still in control. Upper levels are reasonably warm, but again, nothing too exceptional, so will feel fairly pleasant and will be fairly dry. Perhaps westerly winds coming in once again for the north and northwest, especially in parts of Scotland. That's where we could start to see some more cloud and rain get introduced. If we do have a look at the ECMWF, see it's fresh off the presses. ECMWF as it only goes out to 9 days at the moment. Hasn't quite updated for its 10-day range, but normally the 10-day sort of forecast is a little bit inaccurate, so it doesn't really matter too much. We see that low pressure move through sort of Friday, park up again, similar to the other runs, towards southern England through Sunday, Monday, eventually starts to clear off, but never really moves out into Europe. It sort of moves back further northwards, dissipating, but moves further northwards. High pressure migrates towards Scandinavia, and that low pressure is out in the Atlantic, starting to bring in southerly and southwesterly winds. So it could be turning things warmer, and it really depends on how influential that low pressure system is. It's actually updated now to day 10, and it's how influential this is, whether it does bring up warmer air from the south or just start to spiral showers in. It's looking like this, the low pressure is going to park up just to our west, and that could be bringing in westerly winds, probably showers and cloud, especially further westwards, but even further eastwards, probably showers and more cloud as well. So again, all runs showing sort of low pressure starting to try and make an influence towards day 10. GM probably less so, but again, it still does look like westerly winds were starting to take hold even on the GM. If we have a look at the GFS ensembles, you can see generally over the next few weeks, temperatures are going to be around, or maybe a touch above average actually, towards the start of July. You can see this is for London, so in the south it does look like there's going to be a lot of precipitation, sort of starting the weekend into early next week, with those showers and potentially thundery downpours as well. If we do tap into hot and humid air with some more cape and more lift, we could be seeing that. But generally, it does look like pretty unsettled, especially the south. But further northwards, probably a lot dry and fairly pleasant as well. But yeah, generally, nothing too warm, nothing too cold. And again, beyond this sort of showery spell, it doesn't look like anything's going to be going very unsettled once again. We do see some precipitation spikes, but it's not really very unsettled. So no definitive really answers from probably sort of start of July onwards. Just looking fairly pleasant, especially further northwards and then gradually further southwards as well, as that low does start to clear into Europe. Only minor caveat is probably that ECMWF run, which is probably a minority option, keeping that low pressure around, maintaining showery activity. So we'll just have to keep an eye on how that does develop. If we have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, you see over the next few days, temperature's going to try and get around to 20 degrees, where we do see sunshine, but as soon as those showers come in, temperature's going to be suppressed down 16, 17 degrees perhaps, maybe warmer on some of these ensemble members which hold off the showers. So it's going to really depend on cloud amount and how many showers we do see, whether it's going to be 20 degrees or 18, 19, 20 degrees, or maybe getting up to 25, 26 degrees, especially in the longer term. You can see that massive spread in the ensemble members, some going only 15 to 20 degrees, others getting up to between 25 and 30 degrees. So yeah, pretty uncertain in the longer term, but generally in the south it does look like cool under those showers and the cloud. But again, at this stage we can't really predict where those showers and where that thicker cloud is going to be, as we're still good sort of 3, 4, 5 days out. So I wouldn't really want to make too many forecasts for that sort of rain. But we'll look at that probably in tomorrow's video, have our first initial looks on the mid-range models of what sort of shower activity we're going to be seeing once that low pressure moves southwards. We'll look at initially the weather fronts moving through, and then we'll look at sort of the occluded fronts and the little features around that low pressure system through sort of Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, before it eventually starts to clear through Wednesday and Thursday. If we finally, looking at sort of the UK side, have a look at the weatherchannel.com, looking at the live radar, you can see there's a decaying weather front across parts of Wales, northern England, into Scotland at the moment. So there's some heavier rain along it, but it's starting to fragment and turn very much more patchy as it spreads eastward. It's got a lot of cloud with it, so even areas which don't see this rain, once this rain does decay, you'll probably see some cloud, especially in sort of West Midlands, southwestern areas, parts of Yorkshire and northern England as well. Probably some cloud, but again, nothing too substantial. Further eastwards, perhaps we'll see some more cloud tomorrow as well, which has been quite a fine day in the east today. So maybe some more cloud overnight into tomorrow. But again, it's very difficult forecasting how these weather fronts do decay. If they hold on to their cloud more, we can see mostly cloudy skies. If they fragment much faster than forecasted, or much quicker than anticipated, they can have some nice clear sky days. So it's very difficult to say exactly how these clouds will sort of dissipate and this rain will dissipate, but it definitely does look like it will fade as it moves southeastwards before we see that next low pressure system develop to our north for sort of Thursday, Friday, before it plunges southwards throughout the whole of the UK. You can see there are pretty major thunderstorms over Europe at the moment, where we do have more low pressure and some hot and humid air coming up from the south, from Africa, fielding these big thunderstorms across France, even into northern Spain, Andorra, into Italy, Germany, and parts of Austria, Switzerland as well. So quite severe conditions there. And I know some people enjoy thunderstorms, but honestly, these sort of fine days where we're seeing only 20 to 25 degrees are much better than seeing hot and humid days like they see in Europe, where it gets up to 30, 35 degrees. And then by like 3, 4, 5 p.m, massive thunderstorms break out. Trust me, even though thunderstorm outbreaks in the UK are sometimes enjoyable, but when we see them every now and again, maybe a few times a year, I think most people much prefer the weather we do have sort of today, especially in central England, where we've seen some nice pleasant skies, fairly pleasant just to go out in shorts and t-shirt, but not as cold, not as warm, and as oppressive as it is in Europe at the moment. So that's just my personal preference, and that's what I assume most people would enjoy, sort of pleasant conditions rather than these sort of humid, oppressive conditions followed by severe thunderstorms. But it's always interesting seeing how the weather is going over Europe. So finally, we do cross over to the Atlantic and towards North America. You can see there's two areas of interest at the moment for tropical storm and hurricane development. We've got disturbance 1, which has got a 10% chance. It's a tropical wave, but again, there's limited shower and thunderstorm activity, and there's increasing upper level winds, all likely to prevent any further development of the system. But again, things could perk up, so we just have to keep an eye on these systems. And there's disturbance 2, which is much further eastwards in the Atlantic, tropical wave coming in off Africa, and there'll be gradual development over the system, and then possibly next week it will move generally westwards over towards sort of the western parts of the Atlantic. So through 5 days, there's 20% chance of development, and that can rapidly change over the next few days. I do remember last year looking at a similar disturbance to this, where it had near 0% chance in 48 hours and a 20% chance in 5 days. Give it a day or two, and those percentage chance went up to 70-80%, and we actually saw a major hurricane with that. I can't quite remember which hurricane it was, but it just shows you how quickly these systems can develop if those upper level winds and shear changes. So we just really have to keep an eye on this, and I'll continue giving you updates maybe once or twice a week, and then if everything significantly develops, which could provide quite widespread dangerous impacts, and then impacts towards the UK, we'll look at that in more detail at the time. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.